Hello, Sean Stewart again, mortgage broker. Thank you so much for clicking on the link. This week I wanted to talk to you about interest rates and really sort of explain a little bit about how interest rates are calculated. And by understanding some of this knowledge, then we can really look at getting you the absolute best interest rate in the marketplace. Okay? And so you might be somebody who, you're in the marketplace, you're looking for a property or you're looking to refinance. And the first thing that you decided to do was type into Google, what's the best interest rate, right? And that's a perfectly great, approach. And you've gone to different websites and you've got different numbers, but you're really not sure what does all this mean. Okay? Or you might be somebody who, you've talked to a neighbor, a friend, a family, a trusted advisor, and they're telling you some kind of interest rate that they either got or their expectations, right? And, or maybe simply you're just somebody that has already talked to a lender, and that lender's already presented you an interest rate for your mortgage solution. However, that interest rate's just not meeting your expectations, and you're not really sure why that is or if you should be looking for something better. Okay? And so as a mortgage broker, I talk to hundreds of people every single year, and invariably one of the first questions that everybody asks me is, what is the interest rate that I can expect for my mortgage solution, right? And I love that question, and it's a great question that everybody asks, right? However, it's a simple question to ask, but the answer tends to be, a little more complicated. We need a lot more information to really kind of give you that expert advice and really trying to get you the best interest rate that the market can offer you. Okay? And so the one thing I really want everybody to take away from this video is that from a lender's perspective, when they're deciding what interest rate to offer you, it really comes down to what risk profile you represent to that lender. Okay, and so this is something that I try to tell clients. This is sort of my interpretation and my sort of explanation is that every lender is looking at your overall profile and they're trying to identify certain risk factors that are in your profile, and those risk factors can, elevate the interest rate that they're going to offer. Okay, so a higher overall risk profile from the lender's perspective, they're going to offer you a higher interest rate. And a lower risk profile is going to give you a lower interest rate, right? So what we want to do is really, we want to determine what are those risk factors in your profile. And once we know what those risk factors are, how do we manage some of those risk factors, okay? And so some of those elements we can really manage, and we can manage in terms of sort of how we tell the story and what documentations we're presenting, and just sort of industry knowledge and experience of how do we get you that best interest rate, okay? So what I decided to do with this video was I identified four broad categories or four broad factors that every lender is really going to look at in terms of identifying what your overall risk profile is. Okay? And it's not an exhaustive list. Honestly, the number of risk factors are just endless. I mean, I could spend a 2-hour video and still not cover everything, right? But these four broad categories are really kind of get us most of the way there, and it's really going to start sort of identifying or explaining some of the reasons why interest rates are being calculated and why they're being offered to you, okay? And so the first broad category is your credit score and your credit report, and mainly your credit history, okay? And so this is something that, probably has the biggest impact on the interest rate that a lender is going to offer you. It's also probably something that's sort of the most mysterious of sort of like, how does a credit report get calculated, or how, what shows up in your credit report and how does it impact your score, okay? It's probably too complex here just for a simple video. It's probably something I'll probably do another video just independently on, but that's going to be the first factor that any lender is going to want to see. The second factor is income, right? And it's not just the amount of income, but it's also the type of income. Okay, so are you a full-time salaried employee? Are you part-time? Are you hourly? Are you seasonal? Are you self-employed? Are you sole proprietor? Or are you incorporated? Or are you 100% commission income? All of these kind of factors can really kind of potentially elevate or add additional risk to your overall profile, okay? And the third broad category is the property itself. And this is probably the one that's most overlooked. People kind of assume I have a property, give me a mortgage. Fair enough, expectation. However, there's so many different elements within a property, right? Number one probably being location, right? Are you in an urban center or are you in a rural property? Are you does your rural property have acreage? Are you more than 5 acres? Are you on well and septic? What is the type of house that you're looking at in terms of, is it, fully detached? Is it semi-detached? Is it a condo? Is it a row house? Is it a townhouse? What's the use of your property? Is it your principal residence, or is it an investment property, or maybe it's a commercial property, or maybe there's a mixed use of that property, right? All of these kind of questions need to be answered, and all of these questions can potentially add additional risk to your overall profile. Okay, and the last one is really the mortgage itself. Okay, so are you paying the mortgage insurance on this mortgage, or is it a mortgage that's uninsured? Okay, how much equity do you have in that house? How much of a down payment are you putting into this house? All of these kind of sort of add little elements that can potentially increase that risk in your profile. Those are the 4 broad categories that every single lender is going to look at when they're assessing your overall profile. And so hopefully what you see now is that it's vitally important that we get all that information up front such that it can allow me to use my experience and my expertise to, one, identify what potential risk factors might be in your overall profile, but also, more importantly, manage those risk factors in your profile. And so if we're able to manage those risk factors, then we can lower your overall risk profile from a lender's perspective, and we can get the absolute best interest rate in the marketplace for your mortgage needs. Okay, and so hopefully this explains a little bit more, gives a little more sense of where interest rates are coming and how we can get you the absolute best interest rate in the market. I do this every single day as a mortgage broker, and I would love to help you with your mortgage needs. Best way to get in contact with me is you can always give me a phone call, or you can email me your questions, or if you want my absolute dedicated time, visit my website. On the menu bar there is a book online link, and you can schedule a 30-minute phone call with me at your convenience, and I would absolutely love to help you get the best interest rate in the marketplace for your mortgage needs. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.